Hi, welcome back. This is Mr. Milk again with your safety test study guide, and today I'm going to be going over safety test number 2. I am sitting inside of the tiny house that the students have been building, and once you have finished all the tests that are required to work on the tiny house, you may then go ahead and do so. But today, I'd like to go over safety test number 2, which is Basic Shop Safety, Part 2, safety test number 2. Keep workbenches clear and organized. Do not pile up tools. Do not lay tools down so that they hang over the edge of the workbench. Always use a brush or a rag to clear away sawdust and scraps. Never use your hands to wipe off a surface. I've seen kids get really long splinters and nails and glass in their hands from wiping off the surface of the table with their hands when there is a broom almost always within 10 feet of them. So use a broom to clear off the table. Please don't use your hands. And back on the first one, don't lay tools down near the edge. I've seen tools fall off and smash kids' feet, and it's just never been pretty. So please keep the tools in the center of the table. Actually, when you're done with the tool, it's best to go ahead and put it away instead of leaving it out in the middle of the table. Use the right tool for the job. Do not use tools that were not designed for that job. So if the tool is a adjustable wrench and it's a big one, do not use it as a hammer. Even though it works as a hammer, it is not a hammer. It is used for nuts and bolts. It is not used for driving nails or beating things. So use the right size tool for the job as well. I'm not going to use a sledgehammer, a 5 or 10 pound sledgehammer, to drive in a little finish nail. I'm going to go get a regular hammer. So use the right tool for the job. Use tools only for what they were designed to do. And use the right size of tool for the job. Moving on down, carry the pointed or sharp tools with the edge held down towards the floor. This will help avoid injuries if you bump into someone or someone bumps into you. Kind of goes back to kindergarten or first grade scissor safety. Don't walk around, don't run with scissors, don't run around with sharp objects. Carry the point down as you're less likely to get hurt. When you hold a tool, hold it by the handle, and when you hand someone a tool, hold it so they can take it by the handle. So when I pass off a tool, I'm going to hold them, I'm going to face it so that the handle is facing towards them. That way they can grab the handle, not the sharp point. Then I am not going to let go of the tool until they say thank you or I've got it, or until I know that they have got the tool in their hand. When you're finished with the tool, return it to its proper storage area. Return it to the tool room, tool rack, or cabinet where it belongs. If you're handling large or heavy material, get someone to help you. Also, ask someone to help you tail off for you when you cut a large piece of material on a machine. Tail off is the person holding up the end or the tail of the board or material so that it does not drop onto the ground. Lift with your legs, not with your back. Lifting improperly or carelessly can cause severe back injuries. Remember to squat. Your shoulders should be in line with your hips, which should be in line with your ankles. Be sure your hands are dry and that you're standing on a dry floor when you use anything electrical. Check the condition of the power cord. Do not use equipment if the insulation on the cord is cut or frayed. Tell the instructor immediately if the equipment is damaged. When you disconnect a power cord from the outlet, make sure you pull it by the plug and not by the cord. And do not yank the cord out of the outlet. It's kind of like when you unplug the vacuum. I want you to physically walk across the room and pull it by the plug at the outlet, not rip it by the cord. You will actually rip the cord out of the plug, and then we have bigger issues. Use all the recommended guards and safety devices on power equipment. Never remove a guard on a tool unless you ask me, as that guard is there for a reason, and it needs to remain there unless I decide that it is safe to use it without it. Disconnect the power equipment anytime you need to make major changes or adjustments to it. Unplug the tool or machine or disconnect it at the circuit breaker. If you disconnect the breaker, put up a sign that says do not turn on. This is so that someone else doesn't come by while you're working on the tool and turn on the power while you are working inside the tool, and then the machine kicks on. Turn off the machine anytime you make minor changes or adjustments. Never adjust equipment while it is running. Wait for it to come to full and complete stop before you make any adjustments. Anytime you leave a machine, make sure you turn it off and stay until it comes to a complete stop. Make sure it's completely stopped. I don't want it coasting down. It must be fully stopped before you walk away. When you approach a machine to use it, make sure the person who used it before you turned it off and that it is completely stopped. Respect the safety zones. Stay away from anyone operating power equipment. Do not talk to them or distract them in any way. Do not let anyone distract you while you're using the equipment. There was a movie out in the 90s. It was called Bubble Boy. Bubble Boy was about a boy who had to be inside of a bubble. And if anything came in the bubble, it would kill him. Or so they thought. Anyway, I want you, while you're in the shop, to think of you in this bubble. Anyone comes inside your bubble, you or them could get hurt. So that is your safety zone, a 3-foot circle around you. Concentrate on what you're doing. Give it your full attention. Do not work if you are not feeling well or if there's some reason you can't concentrate. Please tell me. If we're in the cold and flu season and you took NyQuil instead of Dayquil and came to school, please tell me, as I don't want you to be using the tools while we are operating and you feel drowsy. That's why I want you to have your full concentration. Work at a safe speed. Do not rush or hurry through a project. Working too fast is dangerous and will result in poor craftsmanship. As well as it comes back to, there's a reason why I only have certain things due throughout the semester and it's not due at the end of every quarter. Right? I need certain things done with a respectable amount of time. If you finish early, great. You get bonus time to build in the shop on something that you want to build. The things that I've required you to build, I have given you more than enough time to build them, and you can work at a safe speed. Do not fool around the shop. There are no exceptions to this. Do not ever play around the shop. If I catch you screwing around in my shop, you're out, you're done, you're gone. I don't want any horseplay messing around in my shop. And the last one, this is really most important, never come in direct contact with anybody's bodily fluid. If there's any bodily fluid around the shop, please let me know, as I need to call someone else to help clean it up. Also on the same thing, if you are hurt and you need to go to the nurse, before you head to the nurse, you need to tell me that you're hurt and that you're grabbing a buddy to go to the nurse. I do not want you going to the nurse by yourself, to where as if you pass out on the way, I don't know it and no one else knows it because no one was with you. Whereas if you have a buddy and you're on your way to the nurse and you pass out, then that buddy can catch you before you hit the ground, and then they can come back, or they come back and tell me that you passed out, or they can go to the nurse and tell the nurse that you passed out, or they could go ahead and pick you up and carry you to the nurse. Thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know.